Okay, peeps, welcome back. So today we're going to be going over our buy, sells, and dividends for the week, which is July 14th through July 20th. So with that being said, let's get it. Okay, so M1 Finance, you can see here there's not really a lot going on. So we got 63 cents from Leggett and Plaid, a total of 45 cents from HRZN and 1 cent from PSEC. Basically, in short, haven't really been doing much with M1 Finance. Been trying to get the high yielding dividend ETFs and whatnot up and the options premium up as much as humanly possible. There are reasons for that, which I'll go over in a minute. So, in terms of trading, only one trade this week, and again, that is on OPP and RIV. So we got out of these two. Basically, just sold out of them for a profit, moved out of the positions to move the money over into Robinhood to get that 2x leverage, and then basically buy a ton of higher yielding dividend paying stocks and ETFs. So we'll eventually get back into some of the positions on here. The ones that we want to load heavy on M1 Finance is we'll get back into RIV. There's no point in having RIV and OPP because they're essentially, twin funds. So we'll probably just get back into RIV, just have that one particular one, and then PDI. I'm trying to think of what else. ACP. So we'll have that one. We'll have HRZN, which is not the same as HZEN. HRZN is Horizon Technology. It's a monthly paying dividend stock of some kind. And then we'll have SVOL and CLM. There's CLM and CRF, but we really only want to have one because what's the point of having both? So anyways, that's the dividends paid out and the trading on M1. So basically just $1.09. Again, it's not a lot. We don't usually get paid a lot during the middle of the month, but just kind of is what it is. So we'll go now over to the Grayscale Trust. So we did have a question about this, whether we bought more or not. We have not bought more yet, so not quite yet. We're not sure we want to buy more just yet, so we're kind of holding off at this point, but we do still have our original positions here, so nothing's really changed from that perspective. In terms of the crypto positions that we bought, this week were in Ethereum, AIOZ, Filecoin, and Crypto.com, or also known as Phil and Crow for short. So we're going to go ahead and go over that now. So I will actually start at the bottom of the list with Ethereum, and we really got to buy some more Ethereum before the spot Ether ETFs start trading next week. So probably going to start doing that pretty much ASAP. Okay, so there's two different balances here. There's basically a staking, and then the primary one we have, the staking was kind of like a test transaction. We weren't really staking much of anything. So you can see a prior transaction bought back here in June. So we basically just bought $20 at an average price of roughly about $34.30, as you can see there, 0.005 ETH. So it's not really a lot. But again, our main focus has not been on Ethereum because even though Ethereum will go up in value, the altcoins most likely are still going to outperform ETH because that's usually just how it goes. Bitcoin this cycle could do like maybe a 4 or 5x from current prices. Maybe a 3x, somewhere between a 3 to 5x. Maybe Ethereum does like a 5 to 7x. And then a lot of these altcoins are probably going to do like 20, 30, 50, 100 X's. Even on the lower side, you're probably talking like a 7 to a 15x. So you can see why we have most of the money focused on the altcoins, not on Ethereum and Bitcoin. So I'll go now down to crypto.com so you can see the primary balance here. And again, this is we're being pretty open and transparent here at this channel. I mean, there's not too many channels that I've ever seen that talk about native crypto that actually go into the actual positions they have and the actual transactions and the details of all that. So you guys are really getting the full scope here. So yeah, last transaction May 17th. So you can see currently July 16th here, $70 bought of Crow. This was basically at an average price of 9 cents. It could be a little off of that. I don't know what the exact number is. So 739 Crow. So not bad. We've kind of just been popping around. No particular altcoins that we've been buying heavy except for these two, AIOZ and Filecoin. So other coins we just kind of buy on the dip when the opportunity presents itself and it makes sense. So we'll go over AIOZ here. So that was last week. So also last week. So it just won this week apparently. So again, 100 tokens at an average price of about 50 cents on the 15th. Once again, I'll reiterate that I think AIOZ could. I don't remember exactly what the all-time high is. Let me actually look at that for a second because I'm quite curious to see what the all-time high was. It's probably not going to show the true all-time high on Coinbase because, yeah, I didn't think so. Because again, the history of AIOZ is, if you want to see the true scope, you generally speaking, you might have to go through multiple different charts on TradingView and CoinGecko and CoinMarketCap and stuff, different sites to see what the actual full history of the chart shows on any given cryptocurrency. But you can see here 267. So I don't think it would be that much of a stretch, considering how small AIOZ's market cap is, to say that it could do like a 10 to 20x. So we could see a $5 to $10 AIOZ. Again, if AIOZ's market cap is at $1 billion, which I don't know exactly what it is right now, we can take a look here. You guys can see there's 1 billion tokens, but okay, so the market cap is only 500 million. So if it did a 10x, that's 5 billion. A 20x is 10 billion. That's not really that much of a stretch. I mean, BNB was over 100 billion last cycle, and Dogecoin was over 90 billion. I mean, shoot, Litecoin, for example, I think topped out at like 28 billion. So to say that this could do 5 or 10 billion, I don't think that's really that unrealistic. So Filecoin, this one's still ungodly cheap. I think most likely this is going to be a late mover, but when it does move, it's going to be really, really huge. Like we're going to see a big move. I would not be the least bit surprised to see $100 to $200 Filecoin. That's if it doesn't break its all-time highs. Would not shock me at all. So, okay, so that's the 17th. We'll take a look at this. Now, that was a couple of months ago. So, okay, the 17th here, you guys can see we got 106.1 tokens at an average price of 471 there. And then also next up on the list, roughly about 10.5 tokens here at an average price of 479. So still buying this, even though we have, I think the total is 3,800 in Filecoin and about 2,100 in AIOZ. We're still buying even on the dip. So, because I mean, once again, if Filecoin just does a 10x from the average price that we have, I mean, it's going to be huge returns. So, and it's pretty much sitting at the lows, pretty close to what the bear market lows were when we were at the bear market bottom. So this thing really has not moved that much, which in my mind spells a golden dip buying opportunity. So we'll get into Robinhood, but we're going to go over the Webull platform first. So of course you guys know we have this. So not much going on in the dividends here. You can see the last dividends paid was from the yield max single stock ETFs. We kind of use this platform more for swing trading because of the technicals of it and the charting and stuff like that. Not really so much for the dividend paying stocks. Part of the reason why we had that on here was to kind of grow the account faster to get past the PDT rule at that $25,000 mark. So you can see the only position we have here is ORC, so that pretty much covers Webull. So let's go ahead and get into the Robinhood portfolio. So crypto buys, once again, ETH, AIOZ, Filecoin, and Crypto.com. So in terms of dividend payouts that we got, so we got YMAX, YMAG, QDTE, and XDTE. We'll go over that right now. So I'll start first with YMAX. Part of the reason why we've loaded up so heavy on these is because they're diversified, but the other part of the reason is because we don't get paid, generally speaking, that much during the middle of the month. So you can see here $168.39 from YMAX. And YMAG is all the way down at the bottom. It kind of sucks that they're at a discount now because now it's after the ex-dividend date. It would be nice to have bought these at a discount before the actual payout. That would have been the best case scenario. So, but they'll recover. The Mag 7, they always go up. It's not really all that shocking to see these multi-trillion-dollar companies just keep going up. So YMAG, $147.21, as you can see. Now I'll go down to QDTE, which we have 100 shares currently of that. So QDTE has also kind of been getting hit a little bit. The NASDAQ is heavily weighted with the big tech companies. So again, that's not really a surprise. It's kind of been a drag on the price. So $31.01. Again, that's a weekly dividend. If it was calculated as a monthly dividend, that would be about $124 a month. And next one, which we have actually bought quite a bit more shares of, XDTE. So you can see it's up to almost 74 shares at this point. This one does not have as much drag on the XDTE, again, because the S&P 500 has less of a weighting towards the Mag 7 companies than the NASDAQ does. So it explains why the drawdown is smaller here. So $14.64. Again, some of those shares that we bought, I believe, was actually after the X date, if I'm not mistaken. So the total dividends from Robinhood's $361.25. Now, in terms of the profits that we made, so we sold off Clip. It's a $702.36 loss. But again, the dividends far outweighed the profits, if I'm not mistaken. And I think the total dividends on this portfolio was like $1,000 to $1,100, somewhere in there. So we're not actually going to calculate that in these numbers for this week because, again, the Clip dividends and the price depreciation and all that stuff happened over the course of like a year. So we can't really just say, oh, well, it all happened in this week, because it actually didn't happen in this week. It happened over like 12 months. But we do want to be transparent, so we point that out to you. So in terms of, it being a net, it's still a positive net. So $700 loss, but $1,100 made in passive income. So therefore the net total profit is actually a positive of $400. And we've talked about this before. Again, the $700 loss can be written off in future years up to $3,000 a year with tax loss harvesting, which can be, which offsets the taxable event of selling for gains. Okay. And as far as I know, from a tax perspective, that can be done indefinitely going into the future, $3,000 a year, unless you have trader tax status. Again, I'm not a CPA, consult with your CPA about these things. But, in terms of the dividend paying stocks, I mean, if I were to assume, let's say, a 22% tax rate on $1,000, you're talking $220 in taxes. That pulls it back down to about $780. So still technically $80 in the profit over that $700 loss. But regardless, that's out of the way. So Aptly, $15.40. By the way, just so you guys know, we did put the if I'm not mistaken, I believe we put the profits, or not the profits, the capital that we had in Clip into NVIDIA and MSTY. So Aptly, $15.40, and XDTE, $18. Again, those were profits. So in terms of the total profits, $33.40. And in terms of the options premiums, I'll just go over that with you guys now. So these are on a separate computer, just so y'all know. We'll have to get a spreadsheet for you guys at some point in time to show you this. So Palantir, entry date 7/15, it's a covered call. These are all covered calls, by the way. Exit date 7/19, $22 times 2 contracts. Mara 7/16, entry date, exit date 7/19. So close this one early, actually, because the price of Mara pulled back, so the contract became cheaper to close. So $40 times 1 contract in premium, $3 to close, so a $37 profit. And then again, we reopened the position immediately on Mara. So 7/19 entry date, 7/26 expiration date, $99 times 1 contract, which you can see the expiration date for Mara here. So that number comes out to $180 in total in options premium this week. So the total number here is $575.74. However, I did also make an additional $730 trading futures over the last 5 days. So, and again, we don't typically talk about futures on this channel. That's kind of a separate source of income. But if I were just to add all that up, it actually does come out to a much higher number. So $1,305 for the week. So the last thing that I'm going to go over on this video is the different stocks, dividend paying stocks and growth stocks that we bought this week on Robinhood. So Palantir, NVIDIA, MSTY, YMAG, Mara, SoundHound, AIPI, which you guys know is the AI version of FEPI, YBIT, XDTE, SPYT, and TSLP. And yes, we did buy actually quite a bit of SPYT and TSLP. Again, they don't pay as much as some of these other ones, but I think it's good to have some diversity, at least, considering the Fed still has the rates at all-time highs. So let's go ahead and go over this. So Palantir, pretty much the last time that we got our shares called away was at a profit, and the price was much higher than the expiration or the strike price, I should say. So we had to kind of throw a few $100 extra in there to get it back up to 200 shares. So going down here, you guys can see that we bought basically 200 shares at an average price of 28.07. Let's see here. So NVIDIA total share count as of right now is 241 shares. I mean, if this thing keeps dropping, we'll probably just add more to it because we're extremely bullish on NVIDIA. So, and this thing has been a great performer among the yield max ETFs for quite some time now. So, again, it's the backing of the AI play, and basically NVIDIA is the top company in the world right now. So, 56 shares at 28.59 here on the 15th. And then about 8.8 shares at 27.88 on the 16th. And going down to MSTY, you can see MSTY was just a rocket ship on Friday. This is insane. So 6.61%. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe MicroStrategy itself was up a massive fat 15% on the day. So pretty huge gains. You can see we're only down 3% as of right now, 214 shares. So if this thing keeps going up, I mean, the payout for MSTY is probably going to be huge again. It wouldn't surprise me if it was at least $3 a share. So you can see 57.66 here at 27.75 per share and 35.51 at 28.16. So really bought a lot of these as of recently. So keep scrolling down here, go down to YMAG. So YMAG, got to go to the show more to show you guys more, right? So 3.48 shares here at 21.50 and then 2.72 shares at 21.30. Again, we were just kind of doing the dividend capture strategy before the X date here. For those of you guys that are new at the channel and do not know what the dividend capture strategy is, basically it's buying a dividend paying stock or ETF right up until the X date, and then, you know, basically to increase the future payout from that particular position in the future right before the X date, because you have to own those shares before the X date, and then just doing the same thing over and over and over with each subsequent X date of positions that you're looking at to buy. So going down to Mara, we decided to get into Mara again. This thing would have gotten called away earlier in the week, but the price of Mara did have a pullback, so that kind of sucks. So I think our strike price was $27.50. As you guys can see here, it got pretty close, and then, yeah, nothing, unfortunately, so is what it is. So we got 100 shares of Mara. Oh, my bad, $26.50. So yeah, it was above that. But unfortunately, they did not get called away at a profit. So all good, doesn't matter. We still got the premium. So you can see here, let's see, where is it? So that's where we got out of Mara. That was earlier in the month. So bought, again, 100 shares here at 24.69, as you guys can see. Plus, you can see all the different options, transactions there. So now going to Soundhound. Soundhound, unfortunately, is down again, so not a big deal. We're pretty bullish on the stock, so we'll probably just still keep buying more at this point. So $6, 849 shares, down roughly about 18%. That, again, is really not shocking at all. That's just kind of how these lower growth stocks tend to operate usually. Big moves up, big moves down. The smaller the market cap, the more volatile the move. So you can see 349 shares here at $5.73. So we bought the dip on this one. So AIPI total share count as of right now is 50. So I would say that's good before the first X date, because we kind of want to see what the first X date has to pay. So you can see one share here at 55.67 and then 20 shares at 54.20. So as it was going down, we were picking up more. Now continuing to go down here, XDTE, our position on this one has increased as well. So 74 shares here. And I need to scroll up just a little bit here. So Yeah, you can see we took the profit right here and then bought back in, and then we bought 18 shares at 52.75, and then 0.47 shares at 52.25, and then got the dividend payout. Now, the last ones that we haven't bought that much of until recently, and we're probably going to buy even more of these. And again, it's on the basis of the pullback, is SPYT and TSLP. So SPYT, slight pullback, but again, 1.25% drawdown is nothing. So almost 77 shares here. And again, the X date is coming up. That's another reason why we've been buying these lately. So 2.96 shares 2025, 24.75 shares at 2020, and 0.98 shares at 2021. And last one that we have bought is TSLP. As you guys know, TSLP is one of 6 different ETFs that the Curve Invest offers. So if you guys are interested in looking at those, just go look them up. We have a couple that we're looking at, which is TSLP and NFLP, which is the Netflix one. So only a slight drawdown here. Again, not a big deal. These are kind of designed to have a little bit lower yield and more upside potential. So 20 shares at 24.30 and 2 shares at 24.43. So quite a bit of buys this week. So pretty much while the crypto market's been going down, we have been buying some native crypto, but we've also been trying to massively increase the passive and the total income that we make on the side from work, with the intention of having the ability to buy even more crypto going in further into the bull run. That's kind of the compounding effect, in case you guys were wondering why that is. That's the reasons. So among other reasons. But anyways, this is the buy, sells, and dividends for the week. Hope you all enjoyed this content. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see y'all later. Peace.